Namaste. I am Vidya Selvakumar, a discipline of Dr. Srimati Radhika Vairaveda from the Chaturlakshana Academy of Finance. I am here to present on what is considered as success for a dancer. The word success is generally defined as the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. But what does it mean to a dancer? Let's discuss. Success of a dancer lies in efficiently conveying the innermost feeling, which implies that rasa, when being efficiently conveyed, marks the success of a dancer. There can be no meaningful communication without rasa. Having said all this, let's see what is rasa and how it is born. Well, the rasa theory explains it precisely. It is a supreme aesthetic experience which is born out of the proper combination of vibhav, anubhav and sanchari bhav. So rasa is a permanent aesthetic experience, and the best part is it can be experienced only by tuning into the performance. So this Indian concept of aesthetic flavor is an essential element of any work of visual, literary or performing art, which can only be suggested to experience and cannot be described in words. So this theory of rasa is attributed to Bharata. It was developed by the philosopher Abhinavagupta. According to Bharata, rasa is a kind of sentiment, and the audience get the sentiment from a piece of creative object. Creative object in the sense it is the four kinds of abhinaya through which an artist communicates with the audience. The realization of rasa gets from a particular sthayi bhava. In simpler words, rasa manifests through sthayi bhava. According to Bharata, sthayi bhava, which is a permanent emotion, transforms into rasa, that is the supreme aesthetic experience. And he also argues that the proper combination of vibhav, anubhav and sanchari bhav for the realization of rasa. So a play with a good combination of all these bhava becomes a play which will be more pleasurable. Also, the whole core of rasa theory is depending on the sthayi bhav, sanchari bhav, satvika bhav, vibhav and anubhav. Before going into the core of the rasa theory, I would like to cite an example which I admired a lot. So the example is from the Meghdoot, where Kalidas Yaksha sends a message to its beloved through the cloud. He says that, "O cloud, you will see river Narmada spread out at the foot of the Vindhya mountain, rough and full of rocky hill. Looking the decoration on the elephant body, made by scattered marks of painter's strokes." So this Upadai gives us the idea how poetry is made effective with the help of apt diction and the imaginative language. So there's always a question, right? Why does everyone love to read literature? The answer is very simple. To gain pleasure, to get rid of the day-to-day routine, and also to have a different kind of experience, right? While reading literature, a reader enjoys the moment, feels something different, and he is also able to get rid of the day-to-day routine at least for some time. And the new pleasure is also born out of reading literature. So this sort of pleasure, according to the Indian literary theory, is known as the rasa. Now let's see what is sthayi bhava. Sthayi bhava is basically inherent in all human beings. It is an inborn and innate emotion. It is deeply rooted in the human psyche. So this permanent emotion is like the center of all other transitory feelings. Sthayi bhava are generally 8 in number. They are love, mirth, grief, fear, disgust, surprise, anger and enthusiasm. Now let's see what is sanchari bhava. The word sanchari means moving or wandering, which suggests the nature of the sanchari bhava. So basically it is not a fixed or constant feeling, and it is also opposite to the sthayi bhava. It is known as the transitory feeling. They keep changing according to the given situations. So basically they are 13 numbers, and they are neither inborn nor permanent. Next is the satvika bhava. So it is called as the involuntary status of the mind of a person. It is an inbuilt bodily response besides other bhava, and it differs according to the given situation. The next is the vibhav. So vibhav is the determining element which helps in development of the feeling in a sentiment. So it generates an emotional state of mind, which is the bhava, and its consequence, that is the anubhav. So it is of two kinds, that is the alambana vibhav, substantial existence, and the Uddipana Vibhav, which is the enhancer existing. So the Alambana Vibhav is nothing but in the incident of love represented on the stage, the character that is being acting as the lover or the beloved is called as the Alambana Vibhav, and the Uddipana Vibhav is the external or the enhancer excitant, which is nothing but the background on the stage, the nature, trees, mornings, evenings, mountains, etc. Basically, they contribute or they create the background for the proper incident to be performed. The next is the Anubhav, which is nothing but the reaction to the Vibhav. The effect of any emotion is called the Anubhav, that is ensuing response. In the realization of the sentiment of Soka, there may be Anubhav like mourning, weeping and shedding of tears, etc. Basically, Vibhav and Anubhav are not directly related to the Bhava and sentiments, but they indicate the factor that leads to the sentiment. Having seen all the core of the Rasa theory, according to Bharata, when these three Vibhav, Anubhav and Sanchari Bhav come together and correlate with any sthayi bhav of a perceiver, then that is the Rasa. Now let's see Rasa and Abhinaya. So Abhinaya is nothing but through which an artist communicates with the audience. So the word Abhinayam is split into two, Abhi meaning towards and the Naya is to carry forward. So there are four types of Abhinayam. They are Ankika Abhinayam, Vachika Abhinayam, Ahari Abhinayam and Satvika Abhinayam. So the Ankika Abhinayam deals with bodily movements, jumps, lifts, your head movements, etc. Vachika Abhinayam means the songs, the music played, the musical instruments which contribute to the recital, etc. Aharya Abhinayam is all about the costumes, the properties that an artist uses, the lightings on the stage, etc. So Satvika Abhinayam is nothing but the mental message or the emotion or the image which is being conveyed to the audience from the artist's own inner image. So a good dancer drives the full attention of the audience throughout the recital, and he or she evokes the sentiment of the audience. Oh, what keeps a dancer successful throughout his or her career? It's all about the devotion and the dedication towards the art, and the humility to learn each and every single day will keep a dancer successful throughout his career. Now let's see some of the success and its interpretations. So, never having to give up despite of the hardships, difficulties that an artist faces is also a success. Also, regardless of the number of performances, if he or she is able to value each and every upcoming performance as a new one, and also if he or she is able to perform irrespective of a small temple or a large auditorium, then definitely those are also success. The next is Abhinaya Darpanam of Nandikeshwara says, Eto hasta tato drishti, eto drishti tato mana, eto mana tato bhava, eto bhava tato rasa. Meaning, wherever your hand goes, your eyes should follow. Wherever your eyes goes, your mind should be engaged. Wherever your mind is engaged, there results expression. Where there is expression, there is beauty. I would like to conclude on a very positive quote, which could be a mantra for all artists. Perfection needs to be perfected. A day without dance is a day wasted. Happy dancing. Namaste.